Hey there, everybody. It's Nikki Jordan here, and I want to talk about receiving from when you're unhappy with yourself, when you're disappointed about things that are going on, when you wish something were different, but you just can't get there, right? And a lot of that latter's part is about sort of a sense of unworthiness about yourself. So, look, I got these on two different directions there. There we go. So, when you're feeling disappointed or unworthy or stuck, like I'm thinking of somebody who wants to apply for a new job and they're kind of stuck just getting their resume together. When you're like that, there's a part of receiving from all of that that you need to focus on, or you could focus on, I should say, that could deliver you the energy that you're looking for. Because we approach things like with a wall. Right? So we approach things with a wall, meaning we feel something and then we block it. All right. And so that is our normal default of how we actually experience whatever showed up. So let's say you're unhappy you haven't gotten to a task, right? And you feel the disappointment in yourself. And then there's this wall there, right? There's this wall there, and you just sit there at that barrier. But what if you relaxed and let it all flow in? What if you let that sense of disappointment, frustration, could be anger. You could be angry with someone else. You could be angry with the world. You could be whatever it is. What if you just let that flow in? Like it were a river, like it were energy, like it were the wind, and it was coming all the way through your body, and you relaxed. As I say, your aperture opens up. Your aperture opens up, and you let it all flow in. Now, when you do that, when you let something flow in, that energy has the capacity to heal you, to unstick something, to unblock something, right? When you're just meeting that energy with itself, when you just meet that energy with itself, so you have this realization that you're not doing something that you wish you were doing, or that you're disappointed or whatever. When you meet that energy there with that realization and you stay there instead of saying, I'll receive this, then you're stuck. Something doesn't happen. You just have that icky sensation in your body. But when you meet that energy as a recognition, that's not even a word, as you recognize that it's there, right? And then you then you relax yourself and you open up and you let it flow through, you can start to follow the energy moving in your body. Just receive it. It's not very different than when you have a pet and maybe they're sitting on your lap and you're petting it. And at first you're just petting it, right? Because petting it feels good. And then you start to feel the sensation of the soft fur or the animal's energy or whatever it is. And when you start to feel the sensation, you can let it come in, right? So we tend to take the negative, anger, disappointment, frustration, whatever that is, feeling of unworthy of yourself, or even feeling like you're lacking something, or you hate the way your room looks or your house looks. It's not that it's messy, but you don't like the furniture there. There's no receiving from what's actually there, right? As soon as you relax and receive from things and you let them flow into you, because everything is energy, then you have a relationship with it. It's connected to you. It's true with people too, right? People who bother you, that you're meeting the bother, you're aware that something's bothering you, you're meeting that with an energy. But if you actually allow what's bothering you to come through, you might find that it will go and, I don't know, you can talk about it, unknotting things in your heart, unknotting things in your shoulder or your neck, having the energy flow through your body. And as it does that, it's healing you. And then you can receive it, and you might be surprised that what keeps you from doing something is staying at that state of meeting the energy, meeting what's bothering you with an energy of awareness or recognition, but not actually receiving from it. And so nothing happens. It's like a dam. It's potential energy with nothing happening, and the energy is building and you can feel it. But if you actually relaxed and received and connected to it, it would probably start to change you. And I know this might sound truly very weird, but I've spent a few decades now, more than a few decades in this space, and to receive from something that you don't like or that you're unhappy about changes the energy from potential energy, where you're meeting and you're bumping up against something and it's an awareness, to energy of change. And energy of change or action is what will create more in your life of what you're looking for, or get rid of what you don't want, right? So when we receive disappointment, when we receive unhappiness about ourselves, when we receive what we're frustrated about or even angry, the first step is that we as humans, what we do is we tend to move forward and recognize, and we're bumping up against it, and it's a barrier. But then if we relax, as I say, it's like you could drop your barriers, drop your borders. I like to feel it like an aperture, like you're opening up. Like some people like to talk about just your heart, but there's way more than your heart that opens up. And you let it flow in, and it literally is doing your own energy work. It's doing what we go and we pay other people for, but we have the capacity to do this ourselves. Once you realize this, you could just lie in bed and let go of everything, or you could take a break in the day and lie down on the couch and let go of everything. Hey, COVID and being locked inside right now for some of us, it's not really locked inside, but not sheltering in place. It's a great opportunity to practice these things, because we could get really disappointed and unhappy, or we could receive from what's frustrating us. And I say this because a lot of people are unhappy with themselves too. What if you received, rather than having that awareness that you're unhappy about the way you react to something or just your state of affairs or what, if you actually just moved forward towards it and received it, it might be very calming. Or at first it might be revving up more of that energy. And then as it revs it up, it's as though it's coming through you, and then it's clearing it out. Because what if none of this is true? What if absolutely none of this is true? This is all just made up. In fact, you're very powerful. You're probably really good at something, maybe something that you don't value. How many people don't really truly value themselves? There are plenty of people that are very matter of fact and go about, they just acknowledge stuff and move on. But the majority of the people are not very happy with themselves, or they get easily frustrated with others, right? So when we take those two things, frustration with something on the outside, or disappointment with something on the outside, and disappointment with ourselves or frustration with ourselves, and we receive from it, and we have a different way of looking at what it is that causes us to feel something negative versus receiving from what we think is negative to clear us out and free us. It's a big difference. Yeah, this is very, very important. It's a key to mental health. It's a key to wellness. I truly, truly believe it. So anyway, I hope that helped you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, look, my joy looks like Yodge from my point of view, but my joy buttons are there. Lights are there. Okay, have a nice day.